How you doing? Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. This morning I'm going to attempt to fit, I'm not going to attempt, we're going to do it. We're fitting a Fat Boy front wheel in a set of heritage forks, and they're going into a 2001 Dyna. So we've got parts from 3 different bikes, making them all fit together. Let's do it. So, jolly of jollies, obviously these forks are not meant to take this wheel, and the bearing size in the wheel is bigger than the biggest spindle clamping bit of the forks line, and the wheel's offset, the hub's not central. So we need to make a spindle with 22mm, what it's saying, this is 3/4, so it's 22mm where it goes through the forks, 22mm, and then we've got 25mm, not inch, which I thought it would be, 25mm where it goes through the wheel, and then we need to put a threaded bit on the end. I'm going to use M12, I think, I'm not sure. I'm going to give that another measure, double check it, but good news, found a piece of material that's definitely going to do the job. And I've got enough to make spaces elsewhere, like, so I'll crack on with that. So we've got the bit of EN8 in there. It's just long enough. We're going to face it off, and then we need to machine the outside down to 22mm, 40mm long. And that'll do us nicely for that end, I reckon. Let's do it. Proper in gear, proper in a faster gear. We'll set a DRO at 0. And we know that we need 40mm in length, so if you touch on 0 scale on the dial and do a quick pass down to 40. In fact, I won't. What I'll do, I'll take a measurement of that now. I might change material as well. So I'm going to measure that, work out how far down I've got to put it from now. But I need to change my tool, so I'll do that first. I'll take another pass, measure it, do the maths, and now just put it down to 40mm. You can join me when I've got a bit further down that bit. And that should be down to size, just over 22 I do. Okay. So that's down to size. I'll put a little chamfer on. Excuse me. And that end's done. That simple. Just check. I don't think I'm going to be able to get right up to that edge. Check this clearance. There's nothing to it, so I'm going to move that out. I'm only doing a chamfer, so not worried too much about concentricity. Put it in gear out of it. Little chamfer. Bigger chamfer. Sorted. Righto, so to do the other end and work out the size accurately with the main body of this spindle, I'm going to spin this round, just face it off, and then I'm going to put a centre into it, so we can centre it up. Now it's sticking out a bit while we're doing the measurements and the markings, so I'll just get that faced up. Righto, so I've centred this end and got it supported on the live centre. There's a lot of centres in this sentence, isn't there? Take it out of gear. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to touch on my jaws there and zero my DRO, because the shoulder of this shaft is now against the jaws, so I can move along the length that I need, which is 214, somewhere around there, 12, 13, 39, 14, just over that is. And we can put a mark there. There we go. One mark, that's one index. And we can go another 40. Zero again. And if there's room, we'll move back another 40. Oh, we're just shy. But not too bad. We're half a mil shy, so we'll touch on there, and let's just pick you up. So those two marks, that's where the main body of the spindle goes. That's the length that I need, 214, and this is just shy because I couldn't quite get in, but it's good enough for an indication. We'll make it just a little bit longer than that with the threaded section. And we're good to go. So just like before, we're going to touch on to get a size. We'll do a light cut, and then we'll work out how much material we need to take off to get it down to take an M12 tap. So we'll just touch on, zero the dial. I always turn my dials clockwise, and that allows for any backlash. And I'm going to measure that, and I'm also going to set my DRO to zero on that point there, so I know that's the actual length that I need, and we can go from there. We're taking a nice heavy cut, 2.5mm cut, so 5mm off the OD. Some lovely blue iridescent Shirley Temple curly whirlies coming off. I've just had a little chip down my shirt though, that wasn't very fucking nice. And now we put a healthy chamfer on this end and just a nice little one on that end. And we're ready to thread up. There we go. I'm just going to dress that a little bit better with a file. Because you will see that end when we're finished, so I'm just going to round it off a little bit. There you go. That's ready to take the thread. And now, as you've seen me do before, I've got the tailstock up against the die holder. Knocking everything around, looking through the camera doing this. Resting against the tool post which I've rotated. That's going to support it while we just feed in really gently and slowly. And what should happen is it will start cutting thread and take it off the die holder. The tailstock should make a gap here because it will draw it up the job light. Let's have a look. Go on, here we go. There you go. So now we're cutting thread, look, nice and steady. and we'll work our way along and then work our way back. Okay, so the theory goes, because this part of the fork clamp is smaller than the diameter that we need to take the bearings, I could have made this 22mm all the way along and made some natty spacers or adapters, but I'm going with this. I think this is a better option. The theory is that we can fit it with the wheel together like this and then push it up and then put this end cap on, and I'm going to make a nut that goes inside there, a sleeve nut. I've got a nice bit of stainless that will take it, so I'm going to machine it down. I'm going to put a 12mm thread down the centre and then machine the outside to fit inside of the fork tube leg, and we'll have a nut poking out. We'll have the exit poking out. Just next on the agenda. So we've faced that off, and I know that we need to make this 17mm or slightly under to fit inside the fork, and we need a piece about 35mm long. So I'm going to touch off on the face as always. Zero the DRO, and I'm going to start pushing until I get it to round, till I knock all the corners off, which is going to sound shit, so bear with. Go a bit deeper than that. And a bit deeper than that. Nearly there, look. We're pretty much just a little bit showing here and there, look. So another light pass, and we'll have a round. There you go. Now I'll set my dial to 0. Back that out, and we can go from there. I'll measure that, see how much we've got to cut off, take it down 38mm. And then we could part it off, spin it round, and drill and tap to 12mm. I've decided to go for the bandsaw option rather than using a parting off tool on it. It seems quite nice stainless steel, but I don't want to knacker a tool up for the sake of a saw cut. So we'll face that off. Just going to put a chamfer on it. Quite a good one, I think. Looks nice. And we're going to drill it and tap it. So it's in with a centre drill. It probably, let's have a look. You can't see that well, so I'll move you around. Hold on. Nice and steady. Ready to take that tapping size for M12. Just slow things down a little bit. We're going to run through with a 10mm bit. And then we're going to take it out to 10.5, I think. It should be 10.2, but first of all, I don't have one. And secondly, I don't want to give the stainless a chance to fuck up on me, so a little extra clearance won't hurt. So we changed that to the 10.5. Might be a bit of a squealer. Let's see. No, that's alright. Not too shabby. So we'll run that through, and then what I'm going to do is touch it off with a larger, like a 12mm or something. Give myself a bit of a taper to get started on the tap. So just nice and easy, clean straight through, done, boosh, sorted. Here we go with a big old 21mm. I'm just going to touch it off and give myself a bit of a taper. So, there we go, lovely jubbly. So now We're going to feed this in plenty of oil, nice slow speed, and it should take it off us, and off we go. I've got a little bit more poking out than I'd normally have, but I need 50mm of depth on the thread, so sorry, bumping this tripod. There we go. Keep that going nice and steady, and then we'll back it out when it's done. And now we'll back it out. Speed it up a little bit, just to get it out faster. I'm going to try that on the spindle. So the spindle's made. The nut screws on nicely. Which is difficult to show you with one hand. So that all goes together. We get that off quick. That fits in the fork. So we should be able to assemble the front wheel with the spindle in. Get it about right. And I'm hoping there's enough room to then slide the old assembly in. Put this nut on, put the clamp on, boosh. All I've got to do now is make the wheel spacers. I might do some quick, cheap and nasty spacers just to rough it out and just to have a trial fit, because I'm a little concerned that there's not going to be enough wiggle room, if you like, which gives me another dilemma then, because the reason I've gone for the bearing being full size and not following this 22mm 7/8 all the way through and making wheel spacers with adapters was that there's not a lot of difference between the two, and the adapters are going to be really thin, and I didn't really want that, so I'm hoping this method works. Okay, so we're all together. I've not put the spacers in. I'm going to measure each side, see if it's equal, and I'm also going to see if the standard Dyna brake setup's going to fit. That would be the defining factor as to where the wheel sits. I mean, we want to get it bang on in the middle, don't we, obviously, but if that's not going to happen with a standard brake setup, then that's another job in itself. So the brakes don't fit, Dyna brakes don't fit this Heritage front end, don't fit the Fat Boy wheel. So what I've done, I've measured, I've gone off the edge, the very, very edge of the rim to the mudguard stays, and I've done the maths, and it kind of works. I've measured the offset because the wheel's not fucking central, is it? This side sticks out more, so we've got a smaller spacer. I did the maths, worked it out, set it where I worked it out it would be, and it comes in central. So now we can go ahead and make some spacers back on the lathe. Got a nice bit of EN8, again, hard enough to do the job, soft enough to care. And we'll get a 25mm, 25.2, whatever, 25mm clearance hole bored into that. I'm going to drill it, and then I'm going to finish it off with a boring bar, so it's a nice size, and we'll part them off and face them up to length. Okay, so what we've got is a Morse Taper 2 adapter in the tool holder, and we've got a 22mm drill bit set up in it. Going to run it at slow speed, maybe a bit slower than that, eh? Where are we going to go? My brain on the 215, that's where we're at. So, I don't know. 120 is going to be too fucking slow. Oh, maybe not. And we'll see how that goes. Use a power feed. So far, so good. So we can use a power feed, nice and steady, and a pull out look. You can see we've got a DRO set as well. So we set that to 60, and as it approaches 0, we know that we're nearing the bottom of the hole. Simple. So once we get a build up, we'll go down about 10mm at a time, and we knock the feed off, just clear the chips. You can see them coming out, they're not blue, there's no colour in them. They're a little bit warm, but certainly nothing's been overstressed. Bit of oil on, down to the hole again, touch on, power feed engaged, away we go again. We'll just settle down and then we'll start getting the curly whirlies coming out, look. Right, so I'm just setting the boring bar up, making sure that we've got at least the 60mm we need coming out of the tool holder to bore the hole out and get that nipped up. Now we can touch that off and see where we're going. Just bring that in, just touch it off on that surface, give it a little cut. Oh, bump the camera, and we'll measure that up and see what size it is. Now we can see that is 22.4, I'm going to call that. It's a bit all over the shop. 22.5, which is great because we want 24.5, so we know we need a 1mm cut, which we'll probably do in 2 goes. So we'll go 1mm out. And away we go. And now we're just taking a final pass to bring it to 25.4, not 24, 25.4. I think I said it wrong earlier. So now we're just going to part off 2 spacers, one 19mm long, one 32mm long. Happy days. I'll move that out of your way. Bit of oil for the old tool. Power feed and away we go. So we're getting there. As the steering stops, you saw me milling, welded into place. Really, we've just extended the standard one so that this catches. I can't really demonstrate it at the minute because we're a bit props in place, but we're getting there. Hey. And there we have it done. Fat boy wheels, heritage forks, 2001 Dyna. I'll try and get some better shots, but you can see the effect. I mean, fucking that really suits it. Let's get one from around here. If you follow me step by step, you'll see how we did it. A bit of engineering, a bit of jiggery pokery, a bit of working things out, and we're all good. So, it just leaves me to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'll try to answer the comments. And big love, everyone.